Well, we're starting to see some countries relaxing quarantine restrictions and more airlines announcing the restart of routes. But is it enough? And where do we go from here? Matthew Davy is Senior Manager at Monitor Deloitte in London, where he helps high-profile clients with their growth and transformation strategies. Matthew is a panellist at the FIA Connect online session, Roadmap to Returning to the Skies, the Future of Air Travel. And he joins us now. Matthew, the numbers are down. It's been gloom and doom for the airline industry. So when does Deloitte see a recovery in travel and flight volumes?
2024, essentially the same as everybody else. I think we've gone back and forth about whether it will accelerate or delay. I think we've seen a lot of good passenger healthy volumes in North America, primarily in the US. But then we've also seen the increase of Delta variant, regulatory-driven closures. And so we retain the 2024 expectation. Obviously, short haul probably before that, potentially long haul after. Different by class of flight, but also in terms of distance people will travel. And then there's a lot of uncertainty, right? So the good thing about a forecast is it can be wrong. But 2024 is our expectation.
So what are the big uncertainties, and do you see those regional differences continuing?
I think we do. I mean, we've gone through a terrible time related to COVID. It's been affecting everybody. It's really affected the airlines. It's affected the travel ecosystem. We think that COVID will continue to affect the industry for some time, directly through regulatory closures, through airlines not being able to travel or fly. But also in terms of consumer perception. Will people want to travel? Where will they want to go? How frequently will they want to travel? So it will stay with us for quite some time. And then the final piece that's really interesting, at least for me, is the business travel, because we don't really know how corporates will affect their corporate travel policies, how often people will fly, where they will go. And the new comfort with Zoom or any of the other streaming technologies means that you don't really know what will happen. And that has a disproportionate impact on the airlines, right? Because business travel fills up the large planes that go long distances.
Yeah, so that's going to mean a number of different changes in their thinking. So how do you see travel changing? Are we going forward with doing the same old things, or do you think we're going to see travel as being completely different to what they were in 2019?
Well, personally, I think 2019 can be seen as a sort of outlier or a high point that we're trying to recover to. Travel will be different. Obviously, there's a lot of safety procedures going in place, not just in the plane itself, but also the airports and the ecosystem around it. I think we're going to see more connected travel. So airlines trying to do better at getting people from their homes to the airports, to the planes, and then to wherever their destination is. But it depends on the consumer preference. And by that, I mean just, VFR, so people traveling on holiday and see family, but also the business travel. When those new normal factors come to bear, we'll see what falls out of it. But people are resilient. People like traveling, and so hopefully it recovers quicker than we all currently hope. But I think it's interesting as a sort of Western commentator. I mean, I sit in London at the moment to try and retain the global perspective, right? Because there's many countries that are behind on the vaccination curve, who are behind on the return to the skies, and the difference that it will have for the different airlines is quite significant.
So do you see the airlines themselves evolving into something different?
I think so. I mean, originally it was about the premium network and the consolidation play. It was essentially scale. It's a scale game. I think the new normal, as much as I dislike the phrase, we'll see different types of business model come to the fore. We've seen quite a few failures of airlines, but we've seen more new launches. And if you look at the new launches, they are, on specific routes with specific business models and using new airframes. And that's what's quite exciting about it all. Hopefully they can put us behind them and move into this new area.
So are there big opportunities there for growth in the sector?
Absolutely. I mean, why not? I mean, historically, the sector has not generated almost the financial returns it really should. And that's primarily because of mispricing of risk and overcapacity. But I think the consumer experience can be improved, right? And they own these fantastic brands that people are very connected to, very loyal to, whether just through loyalty or whether it's the airport that flies them to wherever they are, and people can't change where they're based, right? Neither can airlines. So there will still be consolidation opportunities. Prior to the crisis, we did expect only 5 airlines to essentially survive eventually in Europe, but the big ones will still look at the smaller businesses and see the opportunity to grow. I think we see new routes, new networks, new capabilities enabled by new airframes, but also new business models.
Okay, so how is Deloitte engaged in this sector, and how is that evolving?
It's a good question. I think we're a sort of comprehensive advisor across the patch. So we are the biggest professional services firm in the world. We are a trusted advisor to many of the airlines, airports, and operations and businesses in the sector. We tailor our advice and support to whatever is needed. Survival, funding, and financing has been a big focus for the last 12 to 18 months, but I think we're now seeing interesting conversations and support for discussions about growth, right? How to improve that consumer experience, how to use what airlines have to build the future.
Brilliant, Matthew. Thank you very much. Well, that was Matthew Davy from Deloitte. And let's hope that recovery comes soon. Thank you for watching. And don't forget you can catch up with all those FIA Connect sessions and see all the other news by going to wearefin.com. Goodbye.